By the end of this video, you will be able to solve factorization by grouping. So let's get started. We're going to consider this expression and we're going to factorize this by grouping. The first step is we're going to pair two of these terms and two of these terms. Here we have four terms. This is the first term, this is the second term, this is the third term, and this is the fourth term. Now, looking at the first two terms, what is common in the first two terms is 3x. I'm going to open a bracket. This plus, I will return it here to have this plus. Next is what will 3x multiply so that I will have 3x squared. It is x. Next, what will I put here so that when I multiply the number with 3x, I will get 6x. It is 2. Now, we have found a factor common to the first two terms. Next is open a bracket, copy whatsoever that is here, which is x plus 2, because in factorization by grouping, these two brackets must be the same. Next, we're going to consider the third term and the fourth term. Here, I need to put a value or a number so that if I multiply it by this x, I will get the third term, and it's going to be plus 4. So 4 multiplied by x will give me 4x, and this 4, if it multiplies these two, is going to get 8. So what we're going to do lastly is these two brackets are the same, so I'm going to take one of the brackets, which is s plus 2. Then I'm going to put together the values outside the bracket, which is 3s plus 4, and this becomes our answer. Next, let's consider this expression, and we're going to factorize this by grouping. Expression, and we're going to factorize this by grouping. The first thing we need to do is we're going to consider the first two terms, which is s squared plus 6x. Now, what is common between these two? What is common is s. S is common, so we're going to bring out x out. Now I'm going to open a bracket. Here I need to put x so that s times s will give you s squared, plus what will I put here? When x multiplies that, I will get 6s. It is 6. Remember, anything I get into the in this bracket, I will open a bracket and copy and paste the same thing. The next thing I need to consider is the last two terms, which is the third and the fourth term. Now I need to ask myself, what do you think I will put here? When I multiply with this x, I will get the third term, and it's going to be plus 4. This times this, 4 times s will give you 4x, and 4 times 6 will give you 24. With this, what we need to do now is I will take one of these brackets, which is x plus 6, open a bracket, then I will take the values outside, which is x plus 4, and this is our answer. Next, let's consider this question, and we're going to factorize this. What we need to do here is we're going to consider the first two terms. What is common in the first two terms is 2x. I'll open a bracket. This is a plus. I'll put a plus here. Now, what will I put here? When I multiply with this 2s, I will get 2s squared. It is x. I need to put a number here. If I multiply it with 2x, I'll get 6x, and that will be 3. Now, remember the rule. I'll open a bracket, copy anything that is inside this bracket. I'll just copy and paste. Now, the next thing is you now consider the last, third, and fourth term. I need fourth term. I need to put a number here so that if I multiply it with x, I will get minus x, and that will be minus 1. Minus 1 multiplied by x will give me minus x, and minus 1 multiplied by plus 3 will give you minus 3. Hence, I will take one of these brackets, which is x plus 3. Then whatsoever that is outside, we put it in brackets. So this becomes our result, and we have succeeded in factorizing this by grouping. Next, let's consider this expression, and we're going to factorize this by grouping. Now we have 1, 2, 3, 4 terms. What we're going to do is the first 2 terms is what we're going to consider first. Let's consider what is common in these first 2 terms. What is common here is a. Hence, we're going to open brackets. Now, what will I multiply with this a so that I will get 3a squared, and that will be 3a. Plus, I need to put a number here or a value. When I multiply that with a, I will get ab squared, and that will become b squared. Now, I need to copy this. Now, I need to put a value here so that if I multiply it with this, I will get 3ab, and that will be minus b, because minus b multiply 3a will give you minus 3ab, and minus b multiply plus b squared will give you minus b to the power of 3. And I will take one of these brackets, which is 3a plus b squared. I will put it in brackets. Then I will now take what is outside, which is a minus b, and this becomes our answer. At times, in some quadratic equations or quadratic expression like this, you might have 3 terms, 1, 2, 3, instead of 4 terms. What you are going to do here is you will split the middle term into 2, so that we're going to have 4 terms. How are you going to do this? The first thing you do is you're going to take the coefficient of s squared here, which is 2, and multiply it with the last term, which is a constant. Here we have 10. So we're going to end up having 2 times 10, and we're going to have 20. Now, the next thing you are going to think of is there are 2 numbers. If you multiply these 2 numbers, you're going to get 20. And if you add these 2 numbers, you're going to get a replacement for the middle term. And the 2 numbers are 5 and 4. 5 times 4 is 20. And 5 plus 4 will give you 9, which is a replacement for this. So I will now have 2x squared plus, I'm going to have 5x plus 4x plus 10. Now I'm going to have 4 terms. Now we have 4 terms. 1, 2, 3, 4, which we actually extracted from the given expression. What we're going to do is to consider the first 2 terms. Now, what is common in these first 2 terms is x. But we're going to have a problem here, because 5 can easily work with 10 and 4 can easily work with 2. So what we're going to do is we are going to exchange this 5x and 4x before we continue solving. You can see that 2x squared plus 4x can work together. Next, I will consider these first 2 terms. What is common in these first 2 terms is 2x. I'll open a bracket. What will I put here so that if I multiply it, I'm going to get 2x squared, and here I'm going to have x. 2x multiplied by x will give you 2x squared. Next, what will I put on the other side so that if I multiply it with 2x, I'll get 4x, and it is 2. 2 times 2 will give you 4, and here is the x. Next, according to our rule, we're going to open a bracket, and we're going to transfer anything that is in this bracket to the other side of the bracket. Both must be the same. Next, we need to put a number here so that if I multiply it with this x, I'm going to get this third term, and that will become plus 5. 5 multiply x will give you 5x, and this 5 will multiply 2 will give you 10. So now we're going to choose one of these brackets, which is x plus 2, and we're going to put together what is outside, which is 2s plus 5. And you see, we have factorized this expression by grouping. If you understand this, then factorization in quadratic equation becomes simple. Some equations cannot be factorized by grouping. In such a problem, we can apply the quadratic formula, or we complete the square. Check out the description or the playlist for the videos. If this video was helpful, please hit the like button. Also, subscribe for more videos like this. I will see you in the next video lesson.